Good morning. Hi, my name is Rajesh Srivastav. I joined together today from RSR Global in the UK. We have with us today Monika Piechulska. She is the Associate Director of RSR Global based in Poland. The objective of us meeting today is for Monika to talk us through on the different opportunities for students coming from India and other part of the world to study in Poland. This session is recorded. It's also been live streamed, and you'll all have a request you all to please mute your microphone. You can put your questions on the chat line. Without waiting any further ado, I would like to invite Monika to please introduce herself and talk us through on the different opportunities for people to study in Poland, and followed by we'll have a question and answer session. The total duration of the session is 50 minutes, which will include 25 minutes of presentation and 25 minutes of question and answer session. So Monika, over to you, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Monika Piechulska. I will be looking after admissions to Polish universities, and I would like to show you some presentation of on our universities. Let me share the screen. Okay. So why Poland? Poland has the 8th largest economy in the European Union and one of its most dynamic ones. Universities follow the objectives and the standards set by Bologna process. Therefore, degrees earned in Poland are widely recognized internationally. In 2019, more than 72,000 foreign students from 170 countries studied in Poland, and this number is rising constantly. Students from India rank 3rd in the list of foreign students studying in Poland. Mentoring programs and senior student networks at Polish universities help newly arrived students adapt quickly to living and studying in Poland. Living in Poland is much cheaper compared to other European countries, about 50% less than most other European cities. Living costs for international students vary between 350 and 550 euros per month. In larger cities, it's more expensive. It's between 500 and 850 euros. Dormitories available on universities price ranges from 75 up to 120 euros per month. You will have to apply additionally for place in student house after being admitted to university. Food for an international student usually costs 150 to 100 euros per month. Public transport is the main option for students who pay 50 euros for semester pass, which is available for 6 months. Utilities like electricity, heating, water, garbage have total prices around 160 per month for example, 85 square meters shared apartment. In Poland, there are 59 public universities and 30 higher vocational schools under control of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education. Study cycles in Poland. First study cycle is 3-4 years Bachelor of Art, Science, or professional degree of engineer. Second study cycle is 1.5 years up to 2 years master degree. Long cycle studies, 5-6 years master degree, and they following just medicine, medical analysis, veterinary, performing arts, art conservation and restoration, dental medicine, pharmacy, psychology, law, and photography. And third study cycle leads to a PhD degree. Universities in Poland open admission in the month of April each year, and deadline for application is July. Admission for universities requirements. Language. For programs delivered in English, most universities in Poland require at least 72 in TOEFL IBT, 5.5 in IELTS, or B2 level in other documents that can certify your English proficiency. Certificates. In order to study in Poland, you must have completed a secondary level education and be in possession of a living certificate that confirms that you are eligible to apply for university. You need to provide a high school transcript of grades. All educational documents need to be legalized by Polish consulate or apostille in the country of issue. All educational documents need to be translated into English or Polish language by a sworn translator. Legalization. Original certificate or its duplicate need to be legalized by Polish consul in the country where the certificate was issued or in the country in which educational system school operates. Apostille. If the country in which the document was issued is a party to the Convention Hague, the legalization of the document in this country is replaced by the apostille clause attached to the document. If your country accepts the apostille as a form of international document, legalization your degree must be certified by the signed competent authorities. And recognition by the power of law. Sorry. These certificates are not subject to the recognition procedure in a Polish office. They may be submitted directly to the university, and it applies to member state of the European Union, member state of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and a member state of the European Free Trade Association. And below there are countries that can apply directly to the university. Registration fee, it's approximately 20 euros and 34 euros for candidates who apply for studies that require a test of artistic talents. Visa information. If you plan to stay in Poland for more than 90 days, you must apply for a long-term Polish national visa marked symbol D. Temporary residence permit. You should apply for the temporary residence card immediately upon arrival in Poland and not wait for its expiry, as it generally takes 8 to 12 months for the temporary residence card to be approved. Visa financial requirements. If the student has not purchased the return ticket, the amount of 581 euros is required. Adding them both, the monetary funds required for the Poland student visa are 2,814 euros a year. Medical insurance for EU citizens a valid passport, student identity card, or doctoral student identity card, and a valid European health insurance card entitles its holder to medical care services free of charge in Poland. Those who fail to present any of the documents will be obliged to cover the costs of medical help. Students need to apply for ECUs in their home country. Students from outside of the EU are obliged to have an insurance during the whole duration of their stay in Poland. Otherwise, students are required to pay for any health service they get. They are required to sign a voluntary health insurance agreement with the National Health Fund, NFZ, in Poland, and pay their own insurance fees. The cost is around 15 euros a month. Then students are entitled to free medical care. Tuition fees for bachelor and master degrees in Polish universities vary from 2,000 up to 6,000 euros per year. And it depends on the university and program and prestige of university. Best programs in Polish universities are astronomy, chemistry, theoretical physics, computer science, administration of international organizations, journalism and social communication, spatial economy, managerial economics, psychology, sociology, international relations, law, global communication, economy, finance and accounting, management, biotechnology, environmental protection, landscape architecture, dietetics, agricultural and forestry, directions on nutrition and food, veterinary and zootechnology. Medical studies in Poland. MBBS education in Poland is of 6 years with 1 year of compulsory internship. Most of the MBBS universities in Poland have tie-ups with other universities abroad. Thus, the students get to land jobs and internship in other foreign countries. Indian students must qualify NEET exam to land a seat in the best Polish medical colleges. ST, ST, and OBC students can qualify with passing marks with 40% in NEET exam. The Indian students can easily clear MCI screening test after graduating from Polish universities. Indian students applying for MBBS Poland are not required to take IELTS TOEFL exam. Top 10 medical colleges in Poland are recognized by the best medical institutes and councils in the world, including Medical Council of India, and are also acknowledged by the World Health Organization. Main divisions in medical universities are medicine, 6-year course, dentistry, 5 years course, pharmacy, 4 to 5.5 years course, nursing, 3 years. And below there are university tuition fees per year. And it really depends on prestige on the university, like Jagiellonian University in Krakow. It's 14,000 euros per year. The same Warsaw Medical Academy. Those are the most popular and most prestigious ones, and the most expensive. Eligibility criteria to study MBBS. Only science stream students can study MBBS in Poland. Students should have passed 10 plus 2 physics, chemistry, and biology from any recognized board of India or abroad. Minimum 50% aggregate of PCB combined. Eligibility for admission is 75% in PCB and a NEET for Indian students. IELTS at least 6.5 points. TOEFL, IBT at least 87 points. And at least 3.5 points from the written work of the TWE, TOEFL, PBT, every at least 510 points from the test, at least 180 points in the computer system or equivalent. Entrance exam in English in biology and chemistry in most universities, and interviews based on English language proficiency, checking your motivation and predisposition for medical profession, and the knowledge of selected subjects. Most popular technical programs in Polish universities are automatic and robotics, architecture, biotechnology, construction electronics and telecommunication electrotechnics, power engineering, technical physics, applied physics, geodesy and cartography, mining and geology, environmental and land engineering, mechatronics, chemical technology, transport, aviation and cosmonautic, management and production engineering, mechanical engineering, biochemical engineering, material engineering, mechanics and machine design, and civil engineering. Eligibility criteria for technical universities. If a student wishes to go for graduate level engineering course, should have passed 10 plus 2 physics, chemistry, and math from any recognized board of India or abroad, and have over 50% marks. A good score, B2 level, in entrance exam like TOEFL, SAT, GRE, GMAT, IELTS is required. Students should have strong academic background. And here are some technical universities tuition fees. And the most popular and most prestigious again are Warsaw, Krakow, and Gdańsk, University of Technology. Okay, that would be all.
Thank you, Monica. If you like to take the stop the share of the screen, there are a few questions have come through, and I wanted to pass on to this. It's a very good presentation. Thank you, Monica, for talking us through on Poland. And from the few notes which I've taken down while you were making the presentation, was there are 72,000 students who come to study from 170 countries in the world in Poland to study. Third most number of students come from Poland, from India.
Yeah.
There are a lot of applications inquiries are going on from Somalia, Nigeria, and other part of Africa who wants to come and study in Poland. I would imagine the main reason would be because they want to come and study there and settle down. Another thing which I noticed, which was very nice, and thank you for pointing it out, that the students who come from India, if they have X amount of score in physics, chemistry, biology in the year 12 of their studies, and obviously they have studied in English. It's become easier for them to come in down there. And the medical fees for medical university is about 9,000 euros compared to 4,500 for engineering. So still, if you look at it, a euro is very much similar to a value in pound. It's not much different.
Yes, yes.
So it's more or less the same thing. But I have some questions which are coming through for me to pass on to you. And if you don't mind, first question which comes through Monica is which is the most popular course for people to study in Poland? Is Polish universities known for engineering or medical, or what is the most popular ones?
Well, the most popular are general engineering studies in Poland. And very popular is IT and computer sciences in Poland. And pharmacology becomes more and more popular in Poland as well.
That's very nice. That's very
Mhm.
nice. So that makes a lot of sense because the fees which the universities are charging in Poland, and I looked at it, apart from university in Warsaw, which was a little bit expensive, and one more was a bit
Well,
expensive.
yeah, it's
Some of them are actually half of what they're charging. Of one of them was 1,600 euros as well. And the living cost in Poland is very low compared to people who are studying in England or other part of the country, Europe. So it gives an opportunity. The biggest opportunity for them, I imagine, is because they study in Poland. They have the right to work anywhere in Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Monica.
yes. Polish diploma is internationally recognized due to Poland's involvement in the Bologna process. So you can go everywhere in Europe and your diploma will be recognized and you
Uh,
won't have any problems.
Okay. Okay. Another question which comes through, Monica, like when they come from India or other part of the world, obviously they will not know Polish. So will the mode of study or will be in English, or how will they study? Yeah.
Well, I showed you studies in English language only.
Okay.
There are English language, proficiency English language, and there is no Polish. Of course, you can take Polish courses as well. It's even better for you to understand some Polish words. But in universities and Polish people, they can really speak English on quite high level. Everywhere you go, in shops, institutions, they speak English. So it's not a problem.
That's very nice. Thank you very much. Question comes through, Monica. Do students get a post-study work visa, like they want to stay back and live and study? They want to work in the
Mhm.
country. Like when people come to UK, they study for so many years, and then they get a right to live and work here. For 2 years or something. I think the rules are changing even further. Is there something like that in Poland as well?
Well, students who finish their graduation in Poland, they are allowed to work in Poland without work permission. Um, Therefore, if they are able to find a job, and then they can apply for temporary residence card. Um, but in case you are not able to find any job in Poland, you unfortunately have to go back to your country.
That's very kind. That's very kind because I think it justifies your answer as well. A very good friend of mine, Sam,
Yeah.
he works for Bugatti, and
Yeah.
his factory is in Germany. When he moved, he lived on a border of Germany and Poland,
Mm-hmm.
and he's married now to someone from Poland, but he still travels to Germany to work and comes back to Poland in the evening. Because of European Union, you don't have any restriction on movement. You can live in one country and work in another country. That's not an issue at all. So a lot of
Yeah.
people do that. Even in UK, a lot of people, they fly out from UK in the morning. They go to wherever they have to work in Europe, and they come back in the evening. Sometimes they stay for the week and they come back on Friday. But a lot of people, they travel up and down every day. Another question which comes to Monica, which is when students come here to Poland and they have a visa to study, if they want to bring their partners or dependents, can they come as well?
Yes, they can, and they can work, but I don't know what documents you need to have for permission to work. So I will have to find out. But yes, they can arrive and they can even work in here.
Okay, that's very kind.
Yeah.
One more thing, obviously, this is to do with the insurance and people who are coming from India. We cover our students with insurance from five key insurance providers, including Tata, AIG, and everything else. And a key partner in India is One Insure. You will hear more from them. They provide a very good insurance cover to people going abroad for employment for 6 months and for studies for as long as they're studying. And in case of any eventuality, in case of anything going wrong, this insurance looks after them. If, for example, at the moment with the coronavirus ongoing situation, a lot of students had to fly back home because the universities were doing online lessons and things like that. So to fly them out, the students had to buy tickets. And I think the insurance, those who were covered by Tata, AIG, and other insurance, ensured that this is covered up. So this was something. But is there other local insurance as well for people? I'm sure there must be something, isn't it, Monica?
Yes, even universities can offer insurance. So this is, depending on the university, and you will have to find out on a university website. But yeah, even university offers you insurance
Okay, that's very, very
directly.
kind.
Yeah.
That's very kind, very kind. And one last thing was insurance. What sort of is there? Sorry, on scholarships. Are there scholarships available for people to study in Poland?
Yes, I can even share with you a screen if you don't mind.
Hmm.
There is, hold on a second, NAWA Poland scholarships. Okay, I will share the screen with you. And this is NAWA, Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange. And here are programs for scholarships for students from abroad. So as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. At the moment, there are 4 programs running for scholarships.
That's very kind. There's one advantage for people who study in Poland. The course fees are very competitive compared to what they pay in Ukraine. Advantage for Poland. It's a part of European Union. So people who come and study and live in Poland, the cost of living or studying is not very different than what you would someone would pay in Ukraine. But it's a part of European Union against Ukrainian universities, which is part of European Economic Association. So slight difference. The structure of European Union will change. We never know. But for the moment, this is one of the reasons why people come and study here and live here in Poland and then travel abroad. One
Yes,
question. Sorry,
it
go on then.
opens you gates for European Union to work after graduation.
That's very nice. That's very kind. Monica, the question has come through. This
Yeah.
visa process, obviously, I suppose the process for admission to Poland University would be something similar to any other university across the world. When people come and study in UK, they get a caste letter, and same thing would be happening in Ukraine and everything else. Normally, the procedure is you find a course, you apply for a course, and then the university says, yes, you have the right kind of funds and right kind of qualification, and we're happy to offer you admission. There's something at one point in time I would like Mr. Rajesh to talk to us on Apostle, but the documents are verified by the embassy of Poland in wherever you are based in India or whichever part of the world, and then they get an offer letter and they come here. Normally, visa process from India takes about 4 weeks, Rajesh, or how long does it take?
Poland visa do take normally 2 months, no, from the time of application to, no, I think, but the paperwork they need to have cash and obviously apostle of all the certificates, which takes longer
Mm.
time. Apostle takes around no 15 to 20 days. Average. So the documents need to be prepared beforehand before you apply, as normally probably no they don't give you extra time, and if you don't have your proper document, obviously they'll give you another time to show your documents. So before you go, you need to have documents properly in hand. I think the challenge here, rest document travel documents are not the challenge. The apostle is the challenge, which has to be get done. It takes 15 to 20 days because it's a government process.
Hmm, that's very good. And one question I would like to ask Monica, or probably I would like to ask Mr. Mishra. Sir, when they fly to students, do they buy a one-way ticket or they buy two-way tickets, sir? आपका microphone is switched off, Mr. Mishra.
It depends on the student, but they are allowed. See, yeah, unless you have a long stay visa, you cannot buy one-way ticket. This is a rule of the airline. So in this case, in case of a student, they have the option of buying one way or return. It depends on the price value. You see, normally return tickets are 1.25%, 1.5% of the one-way value. So sometimes people buy return, sometimes people go on one way. It depends on the person who wants to buy which kind of a ticket. But they are allowed to buy one-way ticket because they have a long stay visa.
And while on you on the system, Mr. Mishra, Polish like in India, Polish embassy, is it only in Delhi or they have multiple sites, Bombay and all other as well?
I'll have to find out.
Huh?
No,
You
at
have to
this moment
find
of time, it's in only Delhi. Yeah, at
yes,
this moment of time, it's only in
yes,
Delhi.
yeah.
It's not there in Mumbai. If it's not in Mumbai, I don't think it's there in South also.
It cannot be. Yes.
Yeah, it's only in Delhi as of
Then
now.
but normally, if I'm not wrong, it's a VFS which does this thing, isn't it? They don't have to go to embassy nowadays.
VSFS.
Embassy means VFS. VFS must be in Delhi only then. Otherwise, because visa application center, if there is a visa application center, they will forward it to the embassy. So it must be in Delhi.
Visa See, visa VFS is a body which helps all the embassy. It's a private body. This has nothing to do with the embassy. Embassy is a government body. Visa Facilitating Services is a company which started around 15, 20 years back by a gentleman for facilitating US visa, and then he started getting into UK and other visas. So it's a private body, and they basically work in most of the embassies which have. I think no, in between they were not there for Ukraine. Now they got Ukraine also. Poland they already have with them. There are few Czech Republic. It's still not there. There are some countries which they are still not
Gradually it
have.
is getting
Uh,
added. Gradually it is getting added, expanded.
Gradually they are going. So VFS they are facilitating services. They help us. But yeah, they help us in getting the documents and reaching. So yes, to answer your question, you do not have to go to submit the document. But in case if you are given an appointment, you may need to be present, and visa facilitating services, gives you the appointment as well.
So what we're trying to say is VFS is basically a private organization which works with embassies of different countries.
All
And
yes.
I'm sure there must be many VFS offices in India, and there will be in
No, no, no,
literally
no.
every big city would have it.
Exactly. In they have it in most of the cities in India. So Hyderabad, Mumbai, Chennai, they have the Dropbox facility wherein all the documents are gone. They check, they verify the document. If there is anything short, they know they basically help you to put help you to get the visa. Any document which is shortfall, they help the embassies. So rest assured, the before your application goes, all documents are intact.
All right, that's very, very nice. And Rajesh, would you like to just talk a little bit more on apostille? What exactly is
Yeah,
apostille?
okay. I'll just quickly give a couple of things on the postal. Apostle, obviously, as Monica has said, no, said that is required for every education. Since apostle, it's one apostle is valid for all the countries. So if you do apostolation not for every country, you can valid it, you can use it for any other country as well. Basically, apostle because most of the universities and 10th and 12th passing certificates all over India are in various language. There'll be vernacular language which will be used in it. Not necessarily all the certificates are in English, and that is the reason the apostle was made to say the no verify the document. Once the document is verified, this is done by MHA, Ministry of Home and External Affairs. It's a government process wherein you need to send your original documents which are verified, along with a copy, along with a letter no of a lawyer who will assist you to get the asset attestation. Once this is done, the original documents and the other documents are sent back to you, and this process can only be done by speed post. So it does take time. So it takes around 15 to 20 days minimum to send it. The best way to do it is get a lawyer who can do it from Delhi, so that you send the documents to Delhi, and from Delhi he does all the necessary paperwork and sends it, because it's easy to get document in Delhi itself rather than sending it all over India. Second question, which just to answer about the return flight, which you said, in fact, Monica has also mentioned if you do not have return flight, you need an extra bank guarantee to be kept in
Yes.
your bank. To cover your expenses return flight. So no any which way it is no helpful to as a resource to the applicants. So either you buy a return flight, you're not sure which open return flight, or probably you can have a blocked amount, which is much easier.
Yeah, that's very nice. Thank you very much. One question which we have, and if you like to answer on that, Monica, that's on Bologna process. What is Bologna process?
Um, hold on a second. I need to support myself a little bit. Okay. Okay, Bologna process is a series of ministerial meetings and agreements between European countries to ensure comparability in the standards and quality of higher education qualifications. So it means wherever you go in the European Union, or countries which are with Bologna process, your documents are recognized, and it's easier to to um, to process with your documents.
Okay, that sounds very good. Basically, it is like when we moved to UK many, many years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
my wife's after a while when she started working, we had to get a sort of a certificate from our organization. I don't know the name, I forgot now, but where it says My wife's BSc was UK BSc. My wife's Master Science was UK's Master Science, and my wife's PhD was UK PhD. So they had to do some sort of a attestation to make sure that it's the same thing, and then it became applicable that the qualification in India is same as qualification is here. So I think that is what Bologna process is also, and that gives an opportunity for people who have done a bachelor's or a master's or a PhD from UK, from Poland, to be recognized by any other places in Europe. Now, one good advantage is, though the cost of living, cost of studies are low in Poland, and which attracts, as Monica said, 70,000 students every year from 170 countries. Minded, there were just about 203 or 204 countries in the world. If 170 countries are sending students, so it is well recognized. The cost of studies are low. Student fees and houses and food are very cheap, but that's what people do normally when they study, and that makes sense to me now, that a lot of people who have studied in Poland have moved to Germany or to France or to Scandinavian countries, or for that matter UK, because the wages are higher. And if they stay in Europe, for example, in Germany, and if they go France or Scandinavian countries, including Finland, Norway, and Sweden, uh, they get far more paid, and then also they can travel across, and that also brings to me an answer to the question why my friend Sam, who is actually from South Africa, who is now married to someone from Poland, lives in Poland but works in Germany, because you can travel across, and there's no one to stop you, nobody to even ask you a question who and where and why you're traveling, as long as you have the right documents. I have traveled to Europe
Yeah,
many times by car, and I have never been stopped anywhere. Nobody. Yes, you will only notice if you notice a board sign or the corner of the road that you're entering Belgium or you're entering Germany or entering this, and you will see a little bit of changes in terms of the way the roads are built or cities are built. You can see gradual changes. Otherwise, traveling from one part of Europe to another part of Europe, which is bigger than India, actually, to tell you the fact, slightly bigger than India. You're traveling across, and that's how it is. So I think it's a very good session, Monica. You have been able to answer a lot of
yeah,
questions.
I can add something more. When I was applying for a job in England, for example, I had to only translate my certificate from school, and that's all I had to do. So there was no problems with my university diploma. And to encourage you more to study in Poland, you can work part-time in Poland as well. So you can get extra money in hotels or in restaurants. Students work and they earn extra money. You can have 20 hours per week to work in Poland and to get something extra.
That's very nice, very, very nice. As a matter of fact, the same thing happened in UK going back many, many years ago. And then the thing was reduced down to 20 hours, then it reduced down to 10 hours, and then stopped. And then it's been reintroduced, because when students come from whichever part, apart from the fees which is paid through resources back from their own resources or parental support, or taking loan from the banks, and then food, but then they always want a little bit extra. And not that the 7 days a week they're studying, they study 5 days. Sometimes they have a morning session, sometimes they do online lessons also. So they have a bit of time, and extra bit of work always helps them to integrate with the society. People are very friendly, they're very good people. People feel at home. And a lot of times it's how good one behaves in this part of the world is that's all matters. So if you're good to people, they're good to you, and that's how it works. So they're very receptive, they're very welcoming, they like people to come, and people find it at ease very soon. And we hardly see people who come to this part of the world going back. unless until there are other reasons, because the lifestyles are slight better than what we have. The flexibility, the openness is there, the services and the help from the local government or the institutions or universities are more. And the worst thing is people feel at home, so that's what makes people come and study in Poland. Monica, it's been absolutely wonderful to have you here today, and thank you all for being part of the session. Uh, we will stop the session now, and we will carry on the carry on the session with the at 12 o'clock with the next session, which is on nursing recruitment in the UK. The doctors and everybody will be joining in the next 8 minutes time. So thank you all for being here with us, and we look forward meeting you all very soon. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
everybody.
Monica.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.